Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is problem 3518, smallest palindromic rearrangement 2. This is a very hard problem, so I don't think that you are seeing this in any job interview, but it's still very interesting to train the brain. So let's see how to solve it step by step. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I highly recommend you to watch that video first. It's in my channel. This is very similar to part 1. We are given a palindrome and an integer k, and we have to return the kth lexicographically smallest palindromic permutation of the string that we are given. If there are fewer than k different palindromic permutations, we return an empty string instead. So let's say that we have this input. The string that we are given is already a palindrome. And we are looking for rearrangements of this string that are also palindromes. So we can build B, A, B. And we are looking for the second lexicographically smallest palindrome. Given that A is smaller than B, this would be the first string, the lexicographically smallest one, and this would be the second one. We are looking for string number 2, so we return this. We know that iterating all permutations requires n factorial, which is very inefficient, so we have to think about something else. Now let's say that we are given this input. We are looking for the third lexicographically smallest palindromic rearrangement of this string. So the lexicographically smallest palindrome that we can build is ABBX, C, and then this in reverse, XBBA. For the next string, we can build ABXB, CBXBA. As you can see, this is smaller than this. Why? Well, because these two characters are equal, then these two are equal. Then, regarding these two, B is smaller than X. And this is enough to know that P1 is smaller than P2. The next possible string that we can build is this one. Given that this is the third one, we have to return this. And the main question is, how do we get this result? The first idea is the following. Remember that if we have an odd number of elements, such as in this case that we have 9, we have an element in the middle. Given that this is already a palindrome, any permutation of this palindrome that's also a palindrome has a C in the middle. And left and right parts are mirrors. So if we find the result for the left part, we can mirror it and get the result for the right part. So we can just forget about the middle, forget about the right part, and focus on the left part, which means that we can reduce the problem to find the kth lexicographically smallest permutation of the left part. If we get this, we can build the entire result. Here, the third lexicographically smallest permutation would be AXBB. After we get this, we can mirror it to get the right part, and the middle element stays as it is. In this case, that would be a C. The next question is, how do we get the kth lexicographically smallest permutation of this substring? First, we need to know which characters do we have available. So we can use a frequency map. In the code, we will use an array, but here we use the map for convenience. We have one occurrence of X, two occurrences of B, and one occurrence of A. And we need to build a string with 4 characters. We are looking for the kth lexicographically smallest string using these elements. So if we are looking for the lexicographically smallest result, maybe we can try to start with A, because we do have A in the frequency map. So we subtract 1 from here, this is now 0, and we are checking how many permutations do we have considering all the elements if we start with A. So we have 3 slots available and 2 characters. We will see where can we put these characters. Let's start with B. We have 2 occurrences of B. What are the choices here? We have 3 slots available and 2 elements. For this, you should be familiar with something called Combinatorics. How many combinations of 2 elements do we have in 3 slots? Well, we can put one B here and the other one here, or one here and the other one here, or one here and the other one here. We have 3 combinations in total, but how do we get this number? Well, for this we can use this formula. N factorial divided R factorial times N minus R factorial. Here n is 3, r is 2. So we can do 3 factorial divided by 2 factorial times 3 minus 2 factorial. And this is equal to 6 divided by 2, which is 3. That's how we get this 3. And we don't have to worry about this formula because in Python we have the comb method, which takes n and r. So we will use this in the code. We don't have to worry about this. So if we try to place these two b's in these 3 slots, there are 3 possible combinations. And after placing these two b's, we have 3 minus 2 available slots, meaning only 1. And now we can continue with the next character. How many combinations do we have of 1x in one slot? Well, we can only put an x here, right? So we can say that accumulated is 3 times 1, which is equal to 3. And this means that if we decide to start with A, there are 3 possible permutations. These 3 permutations are ABBX, ABXB, and AXBB. And given that this number is a 3, and we are looking for the third lexicographically smallest permutation, this means that here we have to start with A and continue with the next position. If this number was a 2 instead, this would mean that if we use an A here, we have 2 possible permutations, but we are looking for the third lexicographically smallest one, so we would have to try a different character here. Given that we have 3 possible permutations using A, this means that we can achieve the kth lexicographically smallest one. And given that we are looking for the lexicographically smallest result, we have to start with A and continue with the next position. These are remaining characters and frequencies. And if we want to get the lexicographically smallest string, we should continue with the smaller between X and B, meaning B. So we temporarily subtract 1 from this frequency, and this is now 1, which means that we are testing this scenario. What if we continue with the B? Well, now we have 2 slots available, and we start from B once again because we are trying to get the lexicographically smallest result. So how many combinations do we have of 1 in 2 slots? This is equal to 2. We can use this available B either here or here. So the accumulated number of combinations is 1 times 2, meaning 2. And just to be clear, we start with 1 because we have to multiply combinations every time. If we start with 0 and multiply the number of combinations by 0, we get 0. So remember to start with 1 in the code. Now the accumulated number of combinations is 2, and we still have an X available. So after using this B, remaining slots are 2 minus 1, meaning 1. We have 1 available slot and 1 character. How many combinations of 1 do we have in 1? 1C1 is equal to 1, which means that we can put the X here. We have only 1 choice. The accumulated number of combinations is 2 times 1, meaning 2. And given that 2 is more than 3 and we are looking for the third lexicographically smallest permutation of this, well, we have to continue, which means that we can't use a B here. We have to try a different character. And given that we are not using this B here, we need to put it back in the map. So we go to the frequency map at B and add 1. This is 2 again. Now we are about to try a different character here, because if we use a B, there are 2 possible permutations considering remaining slots, but we are looking for the third one. So remember that if we use an A here, considering remaining slots, we had these possible permutations. Given that we are not using a B, we are discarding these 2 permutations. As you can see, here we have B's at index 1. We will not use this. So we need to keep track of the number of permutations that we are skipping somehow. Here we are skipping 2 permutations, these 2. So we will have a variable start, which is initially 0. And whenever we skip a character, we add the corresponding number of permutations to start. So this is now 2. Now we can try the last character and you will see why this makes sense. What if we use an X here? We need to temporarily subtract 1 from the frequency, so this is 0. And we have 2 B's for 2 slots. What's the number of combinations of 2 in 2. The result is 1. We can only use one bit here, another bit here, which means that the accumulated number of combinations is 1. This is the number of possible permutations if we decide to use an x here. Now, we need to take this number plus the current start. Remember that we start from 2, and 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Given that this is equal to k, we are good to go. If we use an x here, we can get the third lexicographically smallest string. And given that we are keeping this character, the frequency stays at 0. Now we continue with the next position. We are standing here, so we only have 2 bits left. What if we try a bit here? We need to subtract 1 from the frequency, and now we check what are the combinations of 1 in 1. We can put a bit here. This is the only choice, so accumulated is 1. This is the number of permutations if we decide to use a bit here, and 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. 3 is equal to k, which means that we can use a bit here. This frequency stays as it is. Now we can continue with the last index. We only have 1 bit remaining. We put it here, subtract 1 from the frequency. Now we have no elements remaining, so the number of permutations will be 1 plus start. The result is 3, which is equal to 3, so we can keep this bit. The frequency stays at 0. We continue with the next position. Now we are out of bounds, so this is the final array. So now we know that this is the third lexicographically smallest permutation of this substring. So now we can transform this into a string AXBB. We keep the middle element as it is because this is the only element with an add frequency. So here we keep a C, and then we use this in reverse, B, B, X, A. This would be the final result. So with all of this in mind, now let's go with the code. First we can say that n is the length of the string. Half of this is equal to n divided by 2. We have a frequency array, which is an array with 0 times 26 lowercase English letters. And now we need to get the frequencies. So for I in range half, we can say frequency at the corresponding index plus equal 1. How do we get the indices? For example, we are using 0 for A, 1 for B, 2 for C, and so on. Well, we take the ASCII code of the current character minus the code of lowercase a. This is a standard technique to get the index. This would be 97 if I'm not wrong. Now we can continue with the function to get the number of permutations. So this requires an integer for the number of remaining elements. Here we say that the accumulated number of combinations is initially 1. We want to return this result, and here in between we can say for every character index in range 26 lowercase English letters. First we say that the frequency is frequencies at the character index, and if not f, meaning if the frequency is 0, we can just continue. If we are here, this means that we have a positive frequency, so we check if this frequency is strictly larger than the number of remaining elements. We can just return 0 permutations because there's no way to fit this frequency in the remaining elements. Okay. Now, if we are still here, we can say accumulated is equal to accumulated times the combination of the current frequency in remaining elements. The first element here is n, the second element is r, so we use reminder and f. Now we can say if the accumulated result is strictly larger than k at any point, we can just return accumulated, because this means that we have a successful case. If we are here, we can say reminder minus equal f. We subtract the corresponding slots from remaining elements. Okay, and that's it for the permutation. Now we need an array for the left part, which is initially empty, and we can say that start is initially 0. Remember that this is the number of skipped permutations. And we can say for I in range half, from each position we are trying every character starting from the smallest ones. So we say for character index in range 26, and we are checking if not frequency at character index, then we just continue with the next one. We don't have any occurrence of this character in the map. If we are here, frequency at character index minus equal 1, which means that we are testing this character in the current position, in this position. So now we can say that the number of permutations considering this and next slots is equal to permutations with the total number of elements minus the current position minus 1. And if the number of skip permutations plus p is greater or equal to k, this means that the current character has to be part of the final result. So left.append, and here we need to transform the character index into an actual character. So we add the code of lowercase a and we transform this into a character like this in Python. And now we can break this loop. Why? Well, because we have already found the perfect candidate for the current position. So we break this loop and continue with the next position. If we are still here, we don't have the perfect candidate yet, so we can put the current character back into the map. Frequency ci plus equal 1 and start plus equal p. We are adding the current number of permutations to the number of skipped permutations, okay? Because we are about to try a different character. And what if we are here and we don't find any valid candidate? Well, we should return an empty string right away because we are keeping this position in the final left array empty. So how can we handle this? Well, with a boolean, we can go up here and say that selected is equal to false. If we ever find the perfect candidate, we can set selected to true. And down here, after this for loop, we can say if not selected, then we just return an empty string, okay? So now we can build the final result. For the first half, we call showing with the array left. For the middle, we take the element in the middle. This stays as it is, but we only want this if we have an odd number of elements. So we keep this if n modulo 2 is equal to 1, else we use an empty string. And for the second half, we call showing with left in reverse order. So we can do this in Python. And finally, we can return h1 plus mid plus h2. So let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's very efficient. Here, time complexity would be big O of n plus n times 26 times 26, which is overall big O of n. Space complexity would be big O of 26 plus n plus n. So this is overall big O of n. So overall time complexity would be roughly big O of n. This is it for the problem, so if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.